Hey up everybody, this week's video comes to you all the way from Ireland. So I've left the comfort of my lovely Narrowboat back in the UK and I've come to Ireland to meet up with two of my really good friends. One is Sandra Willis, who's travelling the whole of the Irish waterways in her narrowboat, and also my lovely friend Joy, who's travelling the Irish coastline in a little camper van. So the purpose of this visit is not only to have an explore of Ireland and drink plenty of alcohol, but also to go and check out some moorings for Sandra, because at the moment her narrowboat is out the water being blacked. So we've rented a cottage and we're going to go and have an explore of all the rivers and some of the lochs, huge lakes, where she's going to be taking her boat and check it all out. So guys, I'm sat here now. I'm going to get Sandra to explain the main differences between the UK canals and these huge rivers and lochs over here in Ireland.
Okay, so this is my map book over here in Ireland, so equivalent of the UK Nicholson's, and this is what I follow. Now, over here in Ireland, there's two main canals, the Grand Canal and the Royal Canal, but there's also the massive River Shannon that basically travels all up the country and links the lakes together. Now, lakes over here, they're called lochs, but it's actually spelt L-O-U-G-H, so not the same as a canal loch. And you're travelling up the Shannon, loch to loch. Now, what we're doing this week, because it is much higher adrenaline type of cruising, this is, we've got the van and we're going to drive round and look at some of the mooring places, which are harbours on the lake. Because as you can imagine, on a lake, you can't just pull up anywhere. So I'm going to look at the harbours and check that they're okay for me. One on the length of my boat, because a lot of the jetties are very short, made for the cruiser boats. So I need to check there's somewhere a longboat can get in. And also for me, the height of the walls. It's quite often the walls are above the roof of my boat and I can't get the dogs off. So I need to check there's either jetties or steps that I can get the dogs off. So this is the map. This is a big River Shannon that goes from the south of Ireland all the way actually up just into Northern Ireland. So my boat is currently in the dry dock at Shannon Harbour. 2 years ago when I first came out here, I did the little south bit and I went across Lough Derg, my first bit of lake cruising. Last year I've actually done the River Barrow, which is off the canal. This year I'm back onto the Shannon, so I'm coming out of Shannon Harbour and turning right and headed north. So I'm going to cross the massive Lough Ree. Now these lakes are vast. If I just turn over in this book, this is a map of the lake and it's only the top half of Lough Ree.
And you can't just moor anywhere on these, can you?
No, you can't. I mean, it literally is. You can only go into these marked harbours and there are jetties in there or walls. But you can only cruise in this white area. So this blue area is still a lake, but you can't cruise in that. You have to follow these routes and go between these markers, as it'll be too shallow or rocky or you're cutting the corner too much.
So guys, I'm not on a narrowboat this week, but we're going to go and have ourselves a lovely little Irish adventure. So it's fabulous checking out all these moorings that Sandra's going to be at. This one's called Lough Key and they've got an old ruin on an island over there. Yeah, you get there by rowing boat. How cool is that? Little island with a ruin. There's loads of buried treasure on that. Wow. So the difference with our little shallow UK canals to these big vast waters, absolutely amazing, isn't it? I'd love to do it, I really would. Wow, but I'd shit myself. Really scary because they get proper waves and bad weather and they shut them, and yeah, it's just awesome. Look at it, it's like being at sea. So we're still on Lough Key and it's just been fantastic exploring. There's quite a few different mooring points on here and it's so lovely for Sandra to come and get a chance to check it all out, because these massive expanses of water, I mean, it really is frightening. Now she's feeling dead confident because she knows where she's going to be able to moor and all that. But wow, I mean, such an amazing place. But she really has a massive set of balls on her, you know, to do this on her own. Fantastic, you know, really admire her. So we've been invited round to Jan and Alistair's Dutch barge for some coffee and biscuits. I feel part of this Irish boating community already. It's just, they're so lovely, welcoming. So this is Jan and Alistair's boat. I mean, how awesome is this? I do love a big one. So here we are in Lough Key, Sandra, and it looks amazing. Are you excited bringing your boat over here?
I can't wait. This is one of my big things on my bucket list to come onto Lough Key. It's absolutely stunning. So yeah, really looking forward to coming here. Perfect for the dogs as well. Lots of great walkies around here. So for the golden boys.
So Sandra's been over here, how long, Sandra?
Just over 2 years now. Came over February 2020. So yeah. I've done Lough Derg and I've done the River Barrow. So this year I'm headed north up the River Shannon, and this will probably be one of the end destinations, this big lake, Lough Key. Quite different cruising, a lot more adrenaline to UK cruising. So
she'll be like a proper pirate on the high seas when she does these. Oh, brilliant. It's ace. Love it.
Most of these boats will be basically pointy underneath. They'll have a keel, so they'll go deeper in the water and they're a lot more stable, whereas a narrowboat is actually flat bottomed. I know a lot of people don't know that. So as you can imagine, it's not quite as stable on rivers and the lakes. So it's great. They were made for English canals. That's what narrowboats, canal boats were made for. But out here I have to be very, very careful with the weather. So I watch the wind. It's the wind. Everyone thinks it's the rain. It's not, it's the wind. So I just watch all the wind forecasts when I'm setting off. It needs to be a force 0 for a wuss like me to set off. If it's calm, I'll go, because the wind can change massively and you're unstable in a narrowboat. So
we're driving now to see some friends of mine. Now they're called Rosie and Steve, and they're on a Y beam over there. And I first met these guys when I was in Tomodon on the Rochdale after doing the Huddersfield Narrow and all that palaver. And we were all trapped for about 3 months because of a lock closure. So we ended up getting to know each other really, really well. Anyway, they've brought their boat over here. Absolutely lovely couple. And we're going to go now and see them. So how are you finding it, guys?
We love it. Absolutely love it. It's brilliant. The waterways are fine over here. They're lovely.
What about you, Rosie? You loving it?
I absolutely adore it. I love it, yeah. It's brilliant. I love it. Going across them big, massive lakes.
And as I said previously, met these guys trapped in Tomodon for months. The thing is, me, I don't really drink that often, and I'm led astray. But anyway, cheers, everyone.
Cheers.
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 Slante.
What's slante?
Cheers in Irish.
Ooh, so slante, everybody. Cheers. So as you can see, Rosie and Steve are moored here on the River Shannon, and they're on them floating pontoons. Now, I showed these in a previous video of mine when I was on the Weaver. These pontoons raise, so when the river raises with the rainwater and bad weather, they raise up, so they're on them, so you're quite safe. But yeah, so I'll show you that. Anyway, we're going to the pub now. So as you can see, I've been led astray again. I've been brought to a pub. We're having food in this one. Food and drinks. So cheers.
Cheers.
So one of the things I'm loving about Ireland is the live music and the fact that the youth, the kids, they're just doing loads of Irish dancing. And I'm just sat here now in the pub, like you do. Music's going on, and these guys are doing a bit of Irish dancing. Look how fantastic they are. I want to go there. Wonder what they sell. You've got filthy mind, you lot. Naughty as in nautical, not naughty as in rude.
Come on, Guinness.
Just wet the lips.
I'll just wet the lips, hang on.
other day we came to this boat when we were at Lough Key and we had a coffee with them, and today now we've just found them now in this harbour that we're checking out for Sandra, and they said that I could go for a ride on it. They're going to actually moor down there. So we're on the River Shannon on this beautiful boat, First Lady. Yeah, this is Jan. So how long have you been over here, Jan?
We've been here since 2016. We brought our narrowboat over, and last summer we sold her and bought Dutch Barge First Lady, and so now we're back living on board, which is fantastic.
Yeah, brilliant. Oh guys, I love this boat. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's a Dutch barge, so it's a lot wider than the narrowboats back in the UK, but the rivers and canals over here are perfect for them. Oh, it's lovely. So we've made it. Wow. We've come from all the way up there down to here. Absolutely fabulous. So that's it guys, I've just been and cruised a part of the River Shannon in Ireland. How awesome. Massive thanks to Jan and Alistair for letting me on their boat. Brilliant. I'm made up, so excited now. I need to go and have a drink in the pub. So this is Sean's bar, and it's the oldest bar in Ireland according to the Guinness Book of Records. So come on, let's go and get a Guinness.
So this is the inn, and this is back in 900 AD. So from this, it's over 1,122 years old this year.
So this pub was built in 900 AD and it's over 1,000 years old. How cool is that? So we need to say cheers to that, everyone, don't we? Cheers, everyone!
Here we go.
I'm about to go and board a real Viking ship. Everyone, hold me not. So we're now cruising in a Viking ship on the River Shannon. Hee. So we're gonna go now and try and find some real Vikings on this vessel. I've met Viking George and he's in charge of the bar.
Thanks.
Oh, do you have any rum?
Oh, there's plenty of rum there. Well stocked anyway.
Fabulous.
Yeah, so we also have a top shelf.
Oh, and what sort? Is that expensive stuff?
Oh, well, be for some people not, you know. But yeah, a great Irish coffees, as you already did try one.
So guys, that was Viking George. Now if I was a Viking, that would be my job, in charge of the bar. So Sandra's gonna be coming across here on a narrowboat.
So I'll be fine if it's a nice calm day like today. And actually we are on the river at the moment, still on the River Shannon. It's the easy bit. Ask me again in 5 minutes when we've got out onto the lake. I might change my mind then. When you're cruising up the river and the lake, there's the red and green markers and then navigation markers, really important to watch, and you're cruising between them, two of them with red and green on each side, and it changes in reverse when you're going in the opposite direction. We're going upstream at the moment, but the opposite way when we're going downstream, but really important, keeps you off the rocks and the islands and the bits you can't cruise.
Can't believe how vast this water is. It's absolutely amazing. Going across this in a narrowboat.
So when we set off today, it felt a really calm day. It is actually force 3 wind, and now we're out on the lake. You can see my hair's blowing around, so I have to be really careful with the wind. So this is where I need to be careful in a flat-bottomed narrowboat. Check the wind forecast and the direction before I set off. So when I'm cruising, as well as having the map book that you've seen, I also have apps on my phone. I have 2 different apps for the wind speed, and I have a navigation app as well. I also obviously have an anchor should I get into trouble, and I carry a VHF radio. Any trouble, you would either send a distress signal on the VHF radio, or 999 on your phone would get the RNLI, the Coast Guard, out to you, say if you had an engine failure or something.
So this Viking ship has got huge balls. They're almost as big as Sandras coming and doing this in a bloody narrowboat. Whoa! So this is PortRunny Harbour, and Sandra's going to be coming on a little flat bottom narrowboat on this massive expanse of water into this harbour. Oh my God. How are you feeling about that, Sandra?
I'm gonna be nervous when I'm doing it, but I'll have I just have my little app on my phone that I'll be following to make sure I'm pointing in the right direction and not lost out at sea. So yeah, huge lake here.
Look at that. So this is an example of one of the big maps here. This is for Lough Ree, one of the lochs, and you're going to explain now about how it all works, because we're looking at this now. I'm just looking for buried treasure. How does it work?
So I will be coming on Lough Ree, the big lake, Athlone at the bottom here, going through the lochs and coming up. The first mooring is Hodson's Bay, so I'm going to come on and stop at Cousin Point round here, maybe have a look around this little bit. From there onwards, you really do have to travel quite a long way. There's kind of not many stops up the lake. So I'm going to be travelling up the lake, and you have to kind of follow these routes here, these dotted routes, to avoid the rocks and in between the markers. So I'm thinking possibly of going up to Inny Bay. There is a jetty up here that you can stop, and then I'll have to come back out again, cross the lake, and up here to where we actually are now. The first stopping point really is Lacarrow. There's a little bit of canal, about a kilometre of the canal to Lacarrow, and then you could go up to PortRunny, which we've also been to, and then you go right up to the top and up to Lanesborough, and that's where basically it starts narrowing down now and becoming a River Shannon again. So you've sort of come off the main lake bit there, or loch.
How are you feeling about it?
Terrified. Terrified. Could do with someone to cruise with, but there's few and far people between cruising on these lakes, and they're all on the cruiser boats, which are much faster than me, so I don't think anybody'd want me in tow, but it would be good if I could find another boat to go with. So
So guys, we're now in Galway. We're exploring Galway. We're trying to find a nice little pub with some live music and doing a bit of shopping. So guys, this is a Spanish ark, and it's a really famous thing here in Galway in Ireland, and it was built in 1584. Yeah, a long time ago, and Christopher Columbus come through here, but it was used as like a barricade. They had cannons on the top, and they were using it as a defence back in those days. They used to tip boiling liquid, everything from it. Just amazing. I've got all the story here, so I'm trying to read that and tell you at the same time. So Christopher Columbus was in here, and I'm coming through now. You see, Narrowboat Pirate coming through. Awesome. Wow, if these stones could talk, wouldn't it be amazing? Wow, the stories they'd have to tell. So guys, we've travelled all the way across Galway to find this. Look at it, it's amazing. It's an old skull and crossbones. Look at that. Guys, this place here is a pub. We're in a pub. Never seen a beer garden like this. How amazing is this place? Look at it, it's just awesome. So I'm in Ireland, I'm in Galway, I'm having a Guinness. Yeah, cheers.
So I'm off to the airport now, but I was wondering what it cost Sandra to get her boat all the way over from the UK to Ireland, and how the costs over here differ to those in the UK.
The cost for the lorry, if I remember right, was €3,300, so I kind of felt like it was £3,000. You then had crane out in the UK, which was about £400 or £500, and crane in at this end, which was actually €1,000 at this end. I came over separately. The boat came over on an overnight ferry with a lorry driver who was fantastic. I came over separately in a car with the dogs, had a B&B. I kind of have in my head the whole lot for me and the boat and everything to get over it. You're looking about 5k. Now, I was pre-Brexit, so things could have changed. If anyone's thinking of bringing the boat over, look at what tax implications there are now. You might be okay if you're a liveaboard. I think if you're buying one for profit to sell, it's a bit dearer. And then costs over here, English people will love this. On the Shannon, you have to have a permit, and the permits are free. On the canals, you have to have a licence just to use the canals, and that's €126, that's about £110. But if you're only on the Shannon, you don't have to have that. And then the only other real costs are pump out over here. It's probably about £1.50, I think, per time. It's all done on a smart card. Lots of the places have electricity and smart cards, and again, it's just units taken off. So the costs are actually quite a bit lower once you get over here. Not quite the same for the alcohol and the food over here, though.
So if you want to follow Sandra's journey, she does have a blog, a written blog. So what's the address of that, Sandra?
It's Golden Boys blog, and boys is spelt B-O-Y-Z. And I've been keeping that for years, and it covers all my island travels. It is actually the dogs that write it, not me. So excuse any bad English in there. They sometimes get words wrong.
So I'll put a link to that in the description.
Now I'm currently at the airport heading back towards my own narrowboat back in the UK. I know this video's been a little bit different, but I do hope you've enjoyed it, and if you have, please give it a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and press the bell end to receive future notifications of when I release a new one. So thank you so much for watching this far in the video, guys. Before I go, a big shout out to this week's pirate crew. And here they are, me hearties. We've got Stuart and Carol, who have recently bought a narrowboat, Fishless Clive, David Van Wart, Ralph Ward, Alan Harbit, Norm and Laura Vandal Handel, our Jim Lad, I love that name, thank you very much. James Flynn, thank you so much to you, James. Dennis Santiago, Liz Stephen and KP Kath, so thank you so much, guys. Also a massive shout out to my Patreons. Lots of people asked me to set up the Patreons, which I did do, and we put extra little photos over there and some extra little videos and things like that, so a massive shout out to my Patreons. Also, look at this, guys. I've just designed this so you can see my next video. You can binge watch all my episodes, and also you can subscribe. So anyway, that's it for this week. Please take care, stay safe, and I'll see you next time.